control. DDC Financial Services. We're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. DDC Financial Services. We are strong. DDC Financial Services. This is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Neva Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Neva Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Neva Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
9 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. It's a beautiful evening right down here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Good evening, St. Kitts and Nevis. Welcome back to the Real Talk with Lavi. This show where we talk about the things that matter most to our community in our language, of course, our St. Kitts Nevis, our island languages with our people. Tonight, we are keeping it real, and we are going to be talking about something that is affecting every single one of us. Whether you're buying or selling, we are talking about business, local business, your business. Yeah. Tonight's topic: look good, act right, sell more. So tonight is look good, act right, sell more. How local business can win the customer. Yeah. Yeah, this is what's going to happen tonight. How you can look good, act your best, and how you can win the customer by basically doing what you're supposed to do when it comes to marketing yourself. And tonight we are keeping it real, about something, again, as I said, that has affected everyone, every one of us, whether you're buying or you're selling. This is what, it's about. We're talking business, and we're talking local business and your business. Okay? So you see, we have a lot of talented people right here in this beautiful island called St. Kitts and Nevis. We have produce, we have products, we have services, we have the hustle. But sometimes, just sometimes, the way we present ourselves, the way we treat other customers, and the way we show off what we're selling is costing us money. We don't even know that we're losing. Yeah, some of us have no clue that we're losing. Like, we're going out there, getting all the money, buying all the goods, but you're losing because it is more than just going out there, trying to copy and paste somebody and trying to make a hustle. It's all about customer service, all right? So tonight's topic is look good, act right, sell more. And I just, have some fantastic questions lined up for you guys, our live audience, and I want to hear from you tonight. So wherever you are, please, I'm inviting everyone, to call in at 869-466-0989. And if you are overseas, of course, you can join us, get on your WhatsApp or call us straight at 718-285-6984. All right, so as I said, tonight I have some questions lined up, but in the meantime, I just want to take some time on out to say a pleasant good evening to Miss Susie Benjamin. I can see that she's watching. I got to say good evening to the folks right down here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and to all the diaspora, people on the internet, people over there on the YouTube. A pleasant good night to you. I am Lavi Gumbs, and of course, I am a businesswoman. I'm also a hairstylist. I do a lot of community work, and of course, over the years, with experience and working hard, and still seeing how difficult it is for our local people to take command, take charge, be in the game, be on top, and being the leader in our beautiful island. And I'm speaking about our natives, our citizens, in particular, our indigenous people. We work hard, but you work hard. Imagine you're a vendor out there. You're selling coconut, you're selling sugar cake, you're selling your tam and jam, you're selling your clothing. Whatever you're doing to make a dollar, it is time that local understand that you have to present yourself better. Just today, we was on the highway, and I wanted to stop. I'm saying it real. I'm talking it real. Someone wanted to stop to get some coconut water, and just by the appearance of some of these people, they decide to just pass them by, And people are now looking, not just because somebody is selling something, they got to know who they're getting these things from. You see, guys out there, trying to make a hustle, like I said, and they have the coconut and they have the spliff in them out, the weed, the smoking. And we got to be very mindful that your habits, what you do at your home, when you come to the public, you got to be very careful because not everybody wants to have that kind of they don't want that kind of customer service that comes to them. People just want to buy, they want to be able to patronize the locals, but it is time in the economy, in the way how things are going right now, cost of living, high all over. It is time that we local understand, and if you don't understand, this is a great time that you can tag someone, share the page, tune in, call somebody, and say, hey, Real Talk with Lavi is on. She's sharing, homegrown real talk, real topics right here, things that are affecting us and things that can make us better. So tonight I have a few questions lined up. And one of the questions, let me start off, for instance. Think about the last time you walked into a local business and felt really welcome. What did the business do that made you feel that way? Well, I'm going to tell you this because today I was in town and I went up at Sustainable. I actually did a video. I posted that video. I also went over to First Federal, and I have that video to post as well. And I'm giving my feeling and in terms of how I felt. So the question is, think about the last time you walked into a local business and felt really welcome. What did that business do that made you feel that way? When I walked into, today I walked into Sustainable Development up there in the Bladen, that's St. Kitts and Nevis, and I went there. There was two young ladies by the front desk, and when I went, I said good morning. Matter of fact, they gave me back a welcoming good morning, and I felt really appreciative. I felt the professionalism from these young ladies. Their face wasn't frown. They look just like how they act, just like how they look. Beautiful. And I have to commend them. They had no clue that I end up taping, but I did not tape the individual. I just went outside and I gave the way how I feel, because together we can make St. Kitts better. Together we can, as local people, in order to be in the game. No amount of politician, no amount of monies that you get, whether you get it from handout, however you get it, when it comes to customer service, it's all about how you make people feel, and it's about time we start stepping our game right here in St. Kitts. Otherwise, we're going to be losing in terms of seeing locals, people that look like me and you, ordinary people out there excelling and actually branching out and developing in their businesses. Otherwise, we're just going to be the basic commoners in our country, and I think it's about time we step up the game. We can learn from others. All the moms and pop shops. We are talking about moms and pop shops in this place and in that place, but how many people are supporting their own moms and pop shops? How many people are willing to do the hard work besides just waiting until when you sell something, they go and they take it back out and they go and they buy what they want and they go and they hang around, lime on the street. Businesses don't work like that no longer, Kittitians and divisions. So tonight I'm seeing Miss Charisma Patrick. Good evening. It's a pleasure having you here. I'm going to say a special good evening to Miss Iona Dore over there in Nevis, and Miss Shara Queen, Stiley Morris, Glenbo Hobson. Good evening to you guys, and of course, Mr. C.G. Walwyn. So the question that I have here, to answer that question, is said, someone greeted them with a smile right away. It is very important. Imagine you go to these establishments, and some of these establishments that you would expect that will give 100% customer service, right? Like, for instance, you go in the bank and you go to the teller. And sometimes it's very hard these girls and men, they have a hard day dealing with all kind of different people. But this is your job. When you're placed in the front line, you have to present yourself and you have to make people feel special. Yeah. So just imagine you go to the bank. We have quite a few established banks here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And you go in, banks look nice and everything. The girls have on the uniform. The men, the managers have on the suits and everything. But sometimes how they look is not acting the part, is not matching up. And this is what we are saying is that 2026, it is time to match your professionalism with great customer service, with whether you have your master's, your PhD, you're supposed to have that. One of the other things that I want to make an awareness of, I see that a lot of managers down here, persons that hold on managing positions, a lot of them don't show up on the job, but the workers is on the job. People, you got to be able to lead by example. You have to be able to lead by example. Being a manager don't mean that you just go and give orders and you boss everybody. Being a manager is to manage the place. So managers supposed to be on the job as much as possible and be accessible and being able to do work. Yeah. And until we have that kind of mentality and realize that being a manager, you're still an employee. And you're not the boss over anybody, but you are the manager of that establishment with people in there where everyone works as a team and want to make sure that everyone is performing. So if you're a manager out there and you're listening and you know that you're taking the people at money a month time, a week time, you just want all the perks and, get everything that comes with the managing position, but you all not show up on the job. You all need to lead by example, right? Because, that's what people are paying you all for. And this is what the customers are going looking forward to see leadership from the top, not from the bottom up, but from the top down. All right, let's clock it. Clock it. All right. Once again, it's very good to see everyone here. This is a Real Talk with Lavi. And tonight, our topic this evening, if you're there listening and you just join us, the topic for this evening is look good, act right, sell more, how local businesses can win the customers. Okay? So this is what we're speaking about tonight. And of course, that we'll talk with Lavi, bring nothing but positivity. We don't do the drama. And we're welcoming each and every one of you. If you have any ideas, if you want to share your views, feel free to call in. And if you're listening and you was out today in St. Kitts and Nevis and you went into a business place, how was your experience? I also went up there at Builders Paradise. I went up by Builders Paradise, and I must say again, there was a young lady by the name of Tish. Yeah, she had a little cute name, Yeah. I hope I'm calling her name right because she deserves some credit. And this young girl is holding down. Let me tell you this here. Believe it or not, right, Troy? This young girl is not just working at these building institutions. She's holding down the building. When you go there, you have to go look for her. And when you go to the front desk or to the, as soon as you go in, you ask them. They say, oh, go to the back or go and ask for so-and-so. And the young lady is coming up and she know her stuff. She know the 2 inches, the 4 inches. She's holding down this thing just like, a man. And that is what, when it comes to working on a job, it really, it's a woman and man. But if you go and you get a position, it's no longer just about your gender. It's about your performance. Try to think about that.
I think it's an excellent idea. Good evening to your listeners, Lavi. Mm-hmm. And I think once you're qualified, obviously men are traditionally stronger than women. So some jobs may be more suited for men because of the lifting and the moving of items than they would be for female. Mm-hmm. But generally, otherwise, it's an even Steven thing once there's the qualification. It wouldn't matter at the end of the day whether you're a man or a woman.
Absolutely, and you know there's so much things now that they can get. That's where you have assistants. But you're so correct. Again, I went up there, and the way how I was treated, you know, all the way down to the lady that tick off to make sure that you know you're going with the right stuff. So I got to say, big up yourself, Builders Paradise, also First Federal and Sustainable Development. The person that I dealt with, I was very pleased with that. Of course.
You mentioned the coconut vendors and the weeding the mouth. I don't think they have been exposed to training, customer service training.
Right.
They get an idea, they go and they buy jellies or however they get them, they reap jellies and they come and they sell the sugar cane as well. I think that's an excellent idea, selling the cane and the jelly as it is,
Yes.
because a lot of people, especially tourists, would come and they buy the both of them. I like to buy the sugar cane now and then. And in a certain space, I had to tell a gentleman. He came and he served me, and he was polite. He dressed okay. But I told him, excuse me, sir, I don't think it's a good image for you to have a weed in your mouth conducting business. I'm telling you about it, and I'm hoping you do well. However, other
Yes.
people come and they see it, they're just going to turn off. They're not going to buy from you. They're not going to tell you anything, and they're going to turn off, and you're going to lose business. And I think that is the mindset with people and this weed thing. They, it's a whole 9 years, the weeding, the dress, and the personal hygiene, the grooming. You have to present yourself properly, no matter where you're selling jellies. Whether it's in the circus, whether it's up at the Eastern Benevolent Society in camps, whether it's on the Frigate Bay Road, you have to present yourself, and not only that, your surroundings. You have to dispose of your jelly that you cut out in a proper manner. You can't just be throwing them up and down the place, because this will, in my humble view, determine whether you get sales or whether you don't get any sales.
You know, I am very pleased to see that you can just even see the way how this conversation is going and how we are trying to be very helpful for persons out there. Because sometimes when we talk about these things, we get too touchy, and these are things that needs to be addressed because you correctly said it. Some of these people don't really have any training. Everybody out there want to make a little hustle. But again, they're tourists that sometimes when they come, they want to go by some of the locals. But because of the presentation, it's a bit of a turned off. And I'm sure that the product are good. I'm sure some of these people are really welcoming. But the presentation in terms of making people feel safe, because it's not everybody will know you, not because you name Troy or you know you expect everybody to know you. And if you have a business based upon friends because people know you, what happened when that friend decide they don't want to come to you? So I believe that it is time that we have our game on and training. Go on and ask questions. We have a thing now. I realize anybody could be a business person or an entrepreneur, and it's very easy to do, but there's more work to be done when we're going to come out in the public selling things. And even when you get in a business license, I don't think that they have training when you get in a business license. You just give certain things, but maybe these are things where persons out there in the small business can know. And sometimes they do have training, but maybe before you get a business license, you should be able to have some kind of training. Now, I understand that there's some people might cannot comprehend like to write, but there are ways that you can do visual things, like them listen to tape and to try and help our locals, men and women who are not really exposed to this kind of professionalism, to understand that there are other ways that they can present themselves, because it really doesn't look good that when you go on the different highways and you're seeing all these people and they're just flagging you down. These are things that people are selling that people are going to eat, and you have to be very careful who you're buying things from. So again, I hope that tonight program, when it comes to talking about some of the things that are affecting us, our growth and development here in St. Kitts and Nevis, is to start taking a look at ourselves, our approach as to how we do things if we really want to be in the not just a small business, but be in any business that can grow. Whether you're on the street selling, you're a vendor, you're supposed to have this leave that impact that when somebody is leaving from Bastia to go down all the way Sadler's or St. Paul's or Sandy Point to go get a cook up, leaving from country to go all the way up by St. Peter's, by Sheshe to get her cook up, People got to know why they're leaving from, all these 20, 30 minutes away when you can just get 5 minutes and buy something just up the road. Mom Joy.
You mentioned the point, and it just dawned on me. These coconut vendors, do they have food handlers certificate? Have they attended food handlers clinic? If I don't gamble, I don't bet, but I'll bet no. And of course, I'm subject to correction. So this is also an opportunity for the Department of Health, the Department of Consumer Affairs, to actually go out and check them, because you know where they are selling. And most of them are there every day, 6 days a week.
At any given time.
The vendors who are doing boilots, do they have food handlers certificates as well?
Any kind of thing that you're selling. But I think I do have a food handler's permit because even here in the hairdressing, you need a food handler because you're dealing with people. And you also have to take a test because, from the stool, from the urine, because you have to be careful that you don't have any virus that can spread to anybody else because you're handling food.
Indeed. But that's a good thing about these food handlers, eh? And you made a point, Lavi. And I think it's a good idea when you're going to, especially for the small business, the mom and pops, and it's not to put them under pressure, but I'm thinking it's to enhance their business.
It's to enhance them
that
and to
you actually expose them to some customer service training.
Right, absolutely. And that way, because we keep on saying small business, but at what point the small business can go to be in the game with the big businesses? Because there's a lot of other businesses that are making outside of the threshold, and they're still considering them a small business because they want to step between there to get a small business perk, right? But I think, as you said, if this is not done, I think if it's something that is there and it's not enforced, we don't want to put anybody out of business. I don't want people to think that we're here knocking any particular person, but we just want to start securing our local people to be presentable and to be able to be taken serious as a professional business person, no matter what you're selling. Whether you're selling boom, whether you're selling, as I said, you're selling the coconuts, because I know definitely we got to be careful that our bad habits, you can't just leave from, like, say, for instance, myself, I know I was going to come on the media tonight. I just can't leave at any old hour and just come on because I have to go there for a time. I have to present myself, take a shower, comb my hair, present myself, because we are what we produced. And it is time that if we want to be marketable, we just cannot stay here all the time, Troy, watching on the big screen, watching other people coming in our island instead of coming to train us. Because we are trainable, and we have people here that have the skills, the knowledge, the exposure that can help train somebody else. But you got to give us a chance. We just can't be here all the time. Well, in order to get better, we have to bring somebody from, you know what I mean? We have to bring somebody from this place. We have to bring somebody from another culture. How come the Jamaicans come here, and a lot of them come from humble beginnings, Troy? And when they come from humble beginnings, they come here and they go and they work, and you see them excel. So we have to be careful when we're saying that people are poor people and they come from so and so, because at the end of the day, where do we came from, Troy?
A very good question. And competition. We have to be mindful that competition really should make us stronger and better. Because you're into the hair business, and if I have a hair business across the road from you, what can I do to make customers come to me as opposed to going to you? And you're going to be asking yourself the same question.
Absolutely.
And obviously there are going to be a few factors: the cleanliness of the place, the services, and even amenities. If somebody come by you and they're thirsty, could they get water? Do you have water to sell? Do I have soft drink to sell, etc., etc.? As simple as it may be, phones these days, that's a big thing. Is there the facility for you to
Wi-Fi.
charge your phone?
And even for Wi-Fi and charging, you know. A pleasant good evening. Welcome to Real Talk with Lavi. A pleasant good evening.
Hello?
Hello. Good night.
Hi, this is Dr. Walwyn.
Hi, Dr. Walwyn. You're speaking a bit soft. I could hardly hear you.
Okay, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah, I'm watching you on YouTube from South Texas.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I'm watching the show. Very good. I have a question for you, though. Have you ever been into a restaurant or into a business and just walk out because the service was bad?
A lot of times.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I've driven from Houston, Texas. I drove all night to go to Orlando in Florida to a Caribbean restaurant, and I never went back because the management was sloppy, and I never went back. But I drove all night to go there because I had the anticipation because I had the food before and it was good. But it was the attitude of the management. And so sometimes our attitude in business kills our business. And even though we have the right product, if our presentation is not correct, then people are not going to want to come back. So the show is very good. Like I said, I'm listening here in South Texas. I'm about 2 hours from Mexico listening. You're doing a good job tonight on your show. Good question. And Troy, I've never met you, I don't think. But you made a statement a while ago, and that was very good. People need to be aware. It's not everybody that's out here doing stuff that has the means to do it, but they need to know if they're going to keep doing what they're doing, they have to learn.
True.
And burning a spliff while you're selling a tourist coconut water is not a good thing. Beyond that, I'm going to let y'all have it, but I'm going to sit here and listen. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Walwyn.
Yeah, thank you for that contribution. Troy, is it possible you could give me a little more volume so I can hear if possible? Yes. Yes, thank you so much for that call. We never know who is listening to us when we come on the air. So I just got to let you guys know. Tonight's topic, we're talking about small businesses or any kind of business in St. Kitts and Nevis, the professionalism, whether you're selling sugar cake, tom and jam, coconut, anything, persons in the beauty industry. Yeah, I think it is time that we start presenting ourselves if we want to remain in the game, because as you can see, we really don't have, it's small island, certain things want to come, but we don't have boards of professionals in some of these areas, right? And things not going to happen overnight, but in the meantime, in order to protect our locals, as the caller just rightly said, that's he was once a commissioner of St. Kitts and Nevis Royal Police Force, and he's basically saying they got to learn, and I had to learn when I started very young, and today, I mean, I'm in my 50s, and I'm still marketable. And one of the reasons why I'm marketable, because people have the thing with age wrong in these small country islands. I am marketable because I remain abreast of things. I remain with ongoing education. I remain in tuning to what's current, and both the positive and the negative. So I would know which role I want to go. Right, so we got to be very careful that just going around opening up a shop because it's a copy and paste, anybody can just go and open up a shop. I think that this is something that we're going to want to start to look into. Otherwise, as we get, further, as time goes, we're going to see that we are going to be phasing out when it comes to businesses in our country as small local people. Joy. Believe it or not.
Somewhat so, and with the advent of other businesses from non-nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis,
Correct.
the Chinese or whatever the case is, yes, we have an open market. However, when they come in, they're coming to take all our business, eh? And for us to compete, we have to be abreast, like you said. We have to know what they're doing. Are we going to compete with them on price only? I don't believe we can. There are other factors.
Can I just say something quickly to you? I know you said that they're coming to take our businesses, but technically the business is there for everybody. You know what I mean? So we have to be very mindful that, like say, I'm a stylist. You know, I don't own the other beauty salons. I own my own beauty salon. So this, you know, adding to what you're saying, this is why we have to really up our game and do the necessary things that we can not just compete, but compete with ourselves to be better, so we can be current, that when somebody call, you know, and you come and you have the opportunity to give them a service, you do your best, because it's not how great you are, but it's how great you make people feel.
And I went to a restaurant, and I know the owner, we were talking, and he said, boy, Biff, my job really is to take all your money out your pocket, you know. So that's my job. I want you buy and keep on buying. So if you go home without any money in your pocket, tough luck. But really, that's not a problem for me, because I have to pay my bills, etc. So when I did say take all the business, if you have you have your business, Lavi, your hairdressing business, if everybody in Basti come to you, you're not gonna say, girl, no, I don't want all your business to go there, you know. You're gonna work as much as practically possible, physically possible, you know, the exhaustion thing, and so you might only be able to take 20, 30, 40 customers a day.
Right.
But if you come, you're not going to argue if they come. You're going to you schedule them accordingly.
Correct.
But earlier in the program, and the commissioner asked Dr. Walwin if you ever went to a restaurant and turn out. I've gone to bakeries. I think customer service is a pet peeve thing of mine. I've gone in and I say, sometimes I don't say good morning, because I'm waiting for you to recognize me and say good morning, how you may help you. I gone in, and this happened as recently as last week. I went into a bakery, and the gentleman who owns the bakery, he was talking to a lady. I stood up there for about 90 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And I just turned back out without saying anything.
Yeah.
Because, and it's not about being ignored. I mean, then you say, my boy, give me a second, let me finish up the conversation. Nothing at all.
Right.
And I got a problem with them kind of things. And people may think that customer service is all about maybe good morning, good afternoon, and smiling on your
smiling. Exactly. Correct. It's more than that.
It's much more than
that.
that.
It's actually an awareness. It's being aware of your surroundings too. So much that comes with it, you know.
And especially in the hospitality industry. In the trading, they tell you once you serve a customer, after about 2 minutes, you go back and ask them if they're enjoying the food, if there's anything they need. And I've sat in some restaurants I don't eat years ago, and nobody come check my plate. And my drink finished. Nobody come ask me, hey, would you like another drink? And sometimes persons may. And because you ain't come ask, I say, man, to hell with it, man. I gonna make the one drink do, and you lose money.
Correct.
But then again, you're working there. Whether I buy food or not, I buy plate of food or not, you're gonna get painted.
Yeah. Yes. And Troy, as I said, if someone I own a door. I own a door is basically saying that's so true. Presentation says a lot. You eat or drink with your eyes first, and first appearance counts.
Yes, most correct. You eat first with your eyes and your nose too, eh? And your nose, according to what you look. Sometimes you ever realize when people buy food, and especially takeaway, and they open it, you people out to see how he look. Most people do that, eh?
And listen, you eat with everything, even your ears, because if somebody come in and tell you something, then you might even, okay, you know what I mean? So word of mouth is good too. Somebody says something good about a place, you're gonna go.
Yeah, yes, I had lunch here by Lavi's and it really went down good. I had the ribs today, the fish. Lavi does the best fish.
Referrals, you have, like for instance, when you're in a business, people you have to create a brand as to when people come in by your business, what particular thing are they coming for? And it is time that we really, as local people here in St. Kitts and Nevis, if you're listening tonight, share the page, share the live. This is very educational, and I am learning myself because I'm practicing what I do, what I preach, because this is a world now where back in the days you go down the road and they treat you bad and you still go back. We now have cheap advisors and all kind of things on the internet where people are giving their reviews, right? And other people out there listening and looking at these things as well. So it is time that local people, as you say, is more than just smiling and looking all pretty. Adding to what you said earlier, where you go in a place and you walk out, sometimes you're going to an establishment and they're on the phone for hours and you come in and you have to stay there with them on the phone without just, taking some time and say, hold on a second, and say, I will be right with you. Just acknowledge you when you come in.
And the thing about it is, there's this thing called mystery shopping. Mm-hmm. Somebody might have done some training with this establishment, and there's a gentleman, Noah Mills, who's very good at this. He comes to you, Lavi, and he trains you and your staff, and he organized some mystery shopper, 4 or 5 people to go in by you, and just observe. He's going to ask them questions. Look to see if they acknowledge you, if they call your name, if they call your name right, if they ask you your name, and he gets that assessment. So he go back and say, "Yo, Lavi, you spend this money to do this training, but it ain't really work because your staff said this, and this is what I gathered from my survey, from the research." Because you don't know who is who.
You really don't know who is who. And I heard you mention Noah Mills. I had dealing with Noah Mills decades ago when he was working at TDC. And this guy is very, very creative. I remember he literally came to my establishment and asked me to come and give his staff a beauty talk. So Noah was actually going outside of the box because back in the days, as I said, most of these businesses, they never used to really count hairdressers and some of those as a business. I'm telling you, they did not count the beauty industry as a business, people in the skilled profession. And Noah saw what he saw because Noah already, as a great marketing and creative kind of person, he recognized that, hey, it's Lavi can go and tell one of my staff how, her hair, about, dress code and different things and educate them about their appearance. It will make better business for TDC at the time.
So I did a good job training him then as the younger brother. As I am the older brother.
You did something, and I always respect Noah for that because I did not even ask him, but he was always thinking outside of the box. And I just want to continue with Real Talk with Lavi because a lot of our people here, a lot of them have not really exposed, even though we will think that people are exposed, they're really not. And everybody not going to expose to everything because I don't know everything. But when it comes to having a business, we're going to need more than how good you do Johnny cake, right? Because we want to know, well, a lot of people don't even eat dumpling because we don't want to eat from any and anybody,
Even boiled nuts.
Even boiled nuts.
That's correct. And people are going to assess the environment you cook the food in with how you look, Lavi. Mm-hmm. If you look shabby and you ain't dressed properly, even if you're clean, you took a shower and you use thing, but how you look, they won't go buy now. You can't buy no food from she buy.
Yes.
Like if she looks so, could you imagine how whom buy look?
You got to present yourself, and you don't have to be the richest, but you could make yourself clean your surroundings. A lot of these people, like I said, need education when it comes to having a business because you have the disinfect people just saying clean, but it is more than clean. It is all about sanitation. You cleanse, you disinfect, or you disinfect, cleanse, whichever one, and then you sanitize.
Yeah, most correct. And
right? And I said this because sometimes people say clean, but you have to be able, it's like say, and you have to know certain things that can take the heat and certain things that cannot take the heat when you, certain implements when you're using cannot go in certain ovens to clean with the heat, right?
And the mic,
The, I can't hear you.
it's like the microwave. You can't put certain things in a
It's
microwave.
the same, exactly. So certain plastic and so kind of take certain heat. Even when you do the food handlers training, even chicken, I think chicken, I stand corrected, but I think it's the heat of 165 or one.
Yes, they must be cooked at
It must
different
at
temperatures.
certain temperature, and there's certain like meats and different things at a different temperature. There are also things where when you go to the supermarket and you have your chicken and stuff and whatever, some of them put it directly up in the freezer. You know, I like to clean, and then if you take something and you know you're not going to cook it right away, it is better you put it down in the refrigerator than just have it out, because after a certain amount of hours, 2 to 4 hours, then it can go bad just like that. Even buying food, when you buy
Indeed.
food,
And I think this is a very timely topic, Lavi.
thank
And
you.
what needs to happen too is going around and inspecting spot visits. Somebody just show up on your door to perform an inspection. I worked at Marriott for 3 years, and every single year there's an inspector that comes and looks at every single thing in the bedroom. They look to see how the sheets are made on the bed, if under the bed is clean. And you know, we have a tendency to clean the spaces, what we could see, but not under the
yeah.
chair and under the thing. So all these things, they look your chemicals, and they rate you. They rate you and say, well, no, you fail this, you fail that, you fail this, etc. And I know in the Christmas, members from the health department, they go around to the stalls asking to see your food handler's permit. But I don't know who is responsible for checking around the island, the shops and so. So maybe consumer affairs or the health department, they need to perform these spot checks as well.
And you're correct, because just imagine, we just can't say government just gonna collect every year. You collect for the taxes for your business and your business license renewal. They need to come and inspect the place and see what is happening.
Exactly.
You know, or randomly come by and see what is happening in your place. So you have people sometimes working in some of these establishment and food places that don't have, because people bring in their friend and their brothers, and you don't, and they're wrong food.
And one thing you see, Lavi, one thing they teach you in the food industry, you don't serve food with sleeveless clothing. It looks good, hey, but what happens when you reach over? You may perspire a lot, and a few drops of perspiration drop in the food or the drink and help to season it. Well, I'm only joking when I say help to season it. But these kind of things, it's not good, it's not healthy. And you find that happening a lot in weddings too.
Oh, yes.
You
yes.
get married and I'm your friend or your neighbor and things, right? So I come and give you a hand, and I mean well, but it is spoiling the thing.
Do you know, as you talk about sleeveless, and this is why the boards of regulations is very important, boards of cosmetology, right? Because even as a cosmetologist, a hairdresser, barbers, I just heard you mention, you know, when you're serving food, sleeveless. Even this, what I have on, I am not supposed to be shampooing people here with my armpit open.
I was going to ask you the
Right?
question, you know.
Yeah.
What is the policy with you hairdressers and barbers with sleeveless?
Yes, because they should not, and that is why you have to be able to cover your armpit, because you're very close to people when you're shampooing. Some people, when my shampoo bowl that I use, I like to stay current, right? I'm not really that close to the because they're making all this modern equipment now. But again, I should not be in the salon with any sleeveless, because it's body to body contact. You're talking about perspiration that can spread germs, right? And even sometimes when you're speaking to people, you know, you don't really speak in people's face like so close to people, because, you know, the little droplets coming out of your mouth as well. So It's very important, again, that even these things are not, the regulations are not there as yet. It is time that persons in business gonna have to realize that if you want to be basic, don't expect to come and go in the ring with the big leagues. And we find that a lot of this is happening where persons are not really having the qualification or are basically presenting themselves, but they're out there competing with people who are presenting themselves.
Exactly. You have to stay in your lane.
Absolutely.
And if you want to step up to the big leagues, you got to perform what is required at the big leagues. And you can't just stay aside and look at what somebody's doing and envy them. It is said to be the best, you have to beat the best.
Absolutely. Right. And you know how to do that? Again, you have to work on yourself. You got to compete with yourself, right? This cutthroat kind of thing, the copy and paste, you have done us anywhere. And this is why even a lot of persons that are on the street, more and more, the average locals is basically on the street selling, and they feel comfortable just everybody pass and, you know, me and Chai go to, hey Chai, buy me ginger beer. But I don't even know where you got that water from. I want to patronize you to buy your local drink, but I don't know if it's really local. I don't even know the ingredient because there's nothing, no label or anything on top of these. But there was something that came out from the health department, because when I went there, they're basically now urging the public. I think it's a fine if you're selling something and it's not labeled, right? But we'll come out with all of these things and we do not follow them up. We don't follow up with these things. And we don't follow up with them things. And even some people that are in the big league, they're basically dropping short because who are looking at them, who are following up with these people.
Exactly. And no matter what systems you have in place, Lavi, if you don't have people to police the system and police the people in the system, it's really a waste of time in my humble view. You have to go out and you check it. And you're correct. We've come a long way when it comes to local products, the ginger beer and the marble and whatever. But, and forgive me if I use the tourists, because it happens as well with the locals, and I got a little castigated today on Voices as a caller asked me, hey Biff, you look like you don't care about the locals, all you're talking is about the tourists. But no, it's about impact. Because when the tourists, and you mentioned TripAdvisor, they come and they had a bad experience, then they're going to go on TripAdvisor and then they're going to talk about it, and it's going to impact the country. So that is important. But the labeling of the ingredients, expiry dates, the contents, because let us assume that I'm allergic to ginger.
Exactly.
And I see something and I buy it and it's ginger beer. Or it is sorrel mixed with ginger.
And peanut in particular.
Exactly.
You know, yes.
So the contents and the expiry date, those have to be on it. And yes, it's going to cost us a little more to print the labels, but it looks a little more professional as well, which is keeping in the theme that you mentioned.
Again, I started out on my mom landing doing hair, but even when I started out, I actually went to cosmetology school. I was never an apprentice. I opened up my doors with my qualification. I also have my doctorate. People don't know that in this kind of profession, you can have your doctorate, you can have your PhD in cosmetology. Do you know that, Troy?
Yes, and I take things for granted here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And when the authorities try to get us to help us to raise our level, do a little better, we want to abuse them. Who they be, what they're playing for, I ain't gonna vote for them, and all them kind of things. But at the end of the day, it's better for us. They're making us, you use the word earlier tonight, marketable, and they're making us more, putting us in a better place, be able to compete, because the world is a very small stage now. And as we see, when the Spanish come in and they set up the beauty salons and the barber shops, and the Chinese come in and set up the supermarkets and the restaurants, they're in competition. And if, apart from being local at the end of the day, if your service, Lavi, is not as good as a Chinese or
You're
whoever,
gonna lose them, and they're gonna
dog,
go.
that with you, make
Yeah, and I know sometimes I really want to support locals as much as I said support locals. There are also a lot of locals that are not invited. I mean, when you go to some of these places, it's a big turnoff. And again, what's going to happen now that you see all kind of people are traveling all over the world? It is easy. St. Kitts is one of the most easiest places that people can come and live, comfortable and have their jobs and just go about and work, because there are not certain things that are being enforced. People are not even asking anything. Somebody just come and say, "Yes, I hear just are you a doctor?" Even people that are the chiropractors and those kind of things, people that's in there doing these things, and nobody really following up to see, well, if what they're doing, because if you don't have a boards of regulation, what's going to happen? You don't have no transcript. You don't. Who are you going to call to follow in these other countries, Mr. Choi?
of course, you must have the first the policies, the laws, the regulations, or whatever, and then you must have the entities to enforce. I don't like to use the word enforce, but I have to use it. Enforce the whatever rules and regulations and policies, because it doesn't make sense as hairdressers you can't wear sleeveless. Okay, that's a policy. But then you're doing it, Lavia, other people doing it, and nobody doing and saying anything about it. So because at the end of the day, the entity who's supposed to do the policing, whether it's a board of hairdressers or cosmetologists or whatever you call them.
And again, and it's not, like I said, it could be doctors too, it could be chiropractors, all of that, people out there, anybody can come and have, and nobody really know that if they really, if that's really the profession, by the paper, quote unquote, because who are you going to go and say, well, these people really went these places? So I think it's a good time to really start looking into some of these things, because all you got to do is to come from foreign and try and say, oh, no, that's a doctor over there. How we know he's a doctor? Because Troy say he's a doctor. We accept them. But if we say Troy is a doctor, but he ain't no doctor, because what? We know Troy. So we got to be careful that we're not really being hard on our locals in terms of, because we think that Troy is Sandy Point. You know what I mean? So we know everything about Troy. So we got to be able to protect ourselves, and it's not going to happen overnight, but I think that we need to stop settle for mediocre.
5 minutes more. And you're correct. Excuse me. And you're correct, because I said it earlier. Iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
So if Lavi is at a standard and I want to be better than Lavi, I am not supposed to be hoping Lavi's standard fall, so it falls below me. I am supposed to be working to get better above Lavi's standard. And it is not just by the home, the hair and things like that. It's the customer service, the appearance, the cleanliness of the place, the politeness, your personality, how you reach out, the interest you're showing your customers. It's all them 9 yards. A customer coming by your Lavi, and last week the daughter had the flu. Oh, how is your daughter Peter doing? Jenny doing, or whatever. You show a little interest. But yeah, I come in and Lavi grumpy and things like that. Not me, boy. Me ain't going back. I already had a miserable day, and I come by you, whether it's a supermarket or whatever, and you're going to add to my misery? No, man, I can't take on that. Me ain't going back by you.
I got to say good evening to Miss Gwyneth Samuel. She said, say it, Lavi, St. Kitts, do as you like, no question asked. And, it's about time that this do as we like, no question asked. You could do that in your home, but, we really need to bring back some standards here in this place, and in order to get these standards, we have to implement these things. Again, persons that are smoking, I myself and many other people don't feel comfortable knowing that if I go in and go buy your food and you come out to sell me your food and you got your smoke in your mouth. Somebody might like that, but that's not good for everybody. We just can't, as I wind down here tonight, we just have a few more minutes before we close out the show. We just can't look at the foreigners and say foreigners coming in to take over when these people are presenting themselves. You're going to open up a business, If you know you have your bad habits, leave your bad habits behind you, right? But don't go and look at persons out there who are presenting themselves, who are bringing the professionalism on, who are basically looking for growth and development. And all we are doing is basically saying, boy, here Justin, look like you got some money. So, boy, go open up your eye and see here, just a girl. But
That's how
y'all
we do
don't
think.
know. That's how we think. Y'all see here, just a girl from Monkey Hill. Boy, look, she going to put on a big house up there. Boy, you going by she? You understand? Yes, so much here. She make it, she got your big house now. We have to come out of that mentality and recognize that people are working harder and people are starting from the bottom up. We can't just look at the top and expect to look from the top down. Because you could stay and look at the top down, but it's only a matter of time you're going to crumble down, you're going to fall on your face. Right? We need to start really working better to achieve and understand why some of these people that we have come in here and open up their businesses, people start looking at them bad-minding the people and learn from them.
Indeed, and we have a tendency, unfortunately, Lavi, to want to copy the not so good ideas, and the good ones, the best practices. Somehow we don't gravitate towards them.
Yeah.
It's easier look at the pants down the bum thing, and we see people doing it, and it's cool, so we start doing it. But we don't follow the good examples set by other people.
And and there's a lot of persons out there are following it, right? But we also seem to look and giggle, cause we like jokes, we like nonsense. Yeah, we like nonsense, all right? So we find now that we got to be very, very careful. As I said, I find my lane, and even now that my salon, Sheer Brilliance Academy by Lavi, is open, and it's only by appointment. I am not taking no walk-ins. If someone want to find me, you go on Instagram, you look for Sheer Brilliance Academy or Salon, and you make your appointment, or you can call me, and you can also find me on social media. And this is how we go, by appointment based only. And that's how I want to market myself, and so far the clients like it. So once again, this is Real Talk with Lavi. It was a pleasure being here. Tonight we was discussing how it is to win in your business by basically presenting yourself, how you act, how you dress, how you talk to people. That image, that overall image, is what's going to make you grow and how you make people feel. This is Real Talk with Lavi once again. Thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. The caller that called in, we truly appreciate you. And others who are joining us, and if you're just in tune, thank you once again for being here. Next week, same time, same place. As you know, we're going to continue our journey with great topics and being true to ourselves, what we bring here when it comes to what's affecting us here on the ground in St. Kitts and Nevis, and how we can find ways to learn and grow with the great information from Real Talk with Lavi. Good night.